move on to LL tips. Still on a lighter note ish. I'm gonna read a message a viewer sent in. Headline is, "Can I divorce my husband because he cannot cook?" I'm like, okay. And this person goes on to say, "I've always been the one to handle the kitchen, and it was okay at first. But 5.5 years later, it's getting very, very old." Don't know what she mean by that. "I was fine with it in the beginning because I enjoy cooking, but over time it started to wear on me, especially when I come home after a long day at work and still have to cook dinner or get takeout in the evenings, which of course is money, throwing away money," she says. "Meanwhile, he's most times at home before me and still does nothing to help. He refuses to cook and claims there is nothing wrong with not being able to cook. It's been an ongoing issue between us. I've been trying to teach him, but he's not interested. It's turning small issues into big ones. The frustration is slipping into everyday life. What do I do? Can I divorce my husband because he cannot cook? I'm so pissed," she says. "I'm literally Googling divorce lawyers." Okay. I see your raised eyebrow, Queen, so I would come to you.
Very expressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I personally think that this issue is bigger than cooking. I
Agreed.
think based on what I've heard, it seems like the man is not pulling his weight in different aspects of the marriage. And in that sense, I wouldn't say divorce is the first thing I would do. Like personally, I'm a Christian. I wouldn't go into a marriage thinking I want to divorce somebody. But that's another topic for another day. But I do think there are ways to solve for cooking, if that's the core issue. I mean, you can sit down, have a conversation about, how many times a week, like what's doable. And if there are like takeouts in a week, like maybe, I don't know, like a family fun, pull it together and just take out. But I do feel like the issue is broader than cooking. And it seems to me like the man is not pulling his weight. And if that's the case, then it calls for a bigger conversation.
Yeah, indeed. I agree. I agree because it sounded like there's a background of resentment that's coming from somewhere else. Well, let me hear from you, Nashe.
Do you know, I was eager on my seat to go because I want to talk to the mothers of boy children, the
Okay.
because I think that's the root cause of a lot of things. We
Mm.
tell girls how to be mothers. We buy them make-believe kitchens, so they're learning to cook. I remember growing up being told, it's, as a girl, it's this time you haven't woken up to clean the house to do all of this. Same energy for the boy children as well is important because if we as mothers don't teach our children how to be um contributing members of society, then it's their spouses that will suffer in the long run. So like my plea is to mothers. I know it's not necessarily advising in this in the particular question that the person has asked, but I think there's something about us as mothers and how we raise our sons to just be equal to how we raise our daughters. If you're teaching your daughter to cook, teach your son to cook as well. Teach him to do the laundry, etc. But to her, I echo what Sis Queen said. Communication, and thinking about what's the art of compromise. I would say go report him to his mother, but I don't know whether, culturally there's that conversation about, men should not be in the kitchen and all of this stuff. But yeah, I think that communication is the biggest thing. But there's another conversation to be had if you're communicating constantly and not necessarily getting the answers. So maybe even therapy if they have the ability to do that and the resources to do that too.
Yeah, I mean, what there would be layers to this for sure. She's just giving us a snippet of the part she believes is making her angry. But how is she telling him to cook? That's another part. How is she communicating that to him? Is she speaking to him like a child? Is she speaking to him, with some respect? How is that conversation happening? That's
But
another question.
because if I've been at work the whole day and I get home and you're just laid, at least even put out the meat to defrost, like show that you're making some kind of an effort. Because especially in the diaspora where we don't have maids, we don't have house help, like we are what we have. So you can't expect me to do the cooking, do the cleaning, take care of the kids, and then also take care of you and all the things that you need. Like there has to be a balance. So
That's granted. And I think even any man, even if his mother did not tell him in diaspora, a black man, let's assume these people are black people, common sense, should speak. Common
yeah.
sense should tell, except there is some level of, wickedness, you know, but common sense should speak to
Yeah.
say, everyone should chip in. Yes, Stephanie.
I think I was going to read this. Say women are expected to work like they don't have children and raise children as if they don't work. So that's a big thing, especially in diaspora. Like, if the man was living by himself, he will cook for him, he will do his laundry. So I think that it doesn't really matter. I understand that it matters the way you communicate, but it's common sense that you're living with someone and you have to chip in. And the question, the LL tip shows that there are deeper issues, which Queen has said. It's typical in this country for women to split bills with men. So a woman goes to work as well as a man goes to work. So if I'm paying 50% of the house bills, you should be doing 50% of the housework. It doesn't really matter how I speak. It's like, it's common sense and we're humans. And it's unfair for me to go to work, come back late, start cooking, and you're here just twiddling your fingers. So I think that I don't think divorce is the best way forward. I think they should communicate, and he needs to know that if she divorces him today and he gets his own house, he will have to cook for himself. He has to eat. So yes,
is that going to be payback enough?
It's not going to pay enough,
that's the argument, is it going to be payback enough for him to have his own house and cook his own food?
But it's better than her getting burned out and falling sick.
It's a man's world. Like, men really have the audacity. Like I say, it's funny to me, but it's true. I know we said, oh, like, if she leaves him and then he goes and he'll have to cook by himself. The fact of the matter is, if she leaves him, he will find another lady who would cook for him. Like, it's just life.
Maybe she needs to make it a bit easier for him. Maybe they can do a meal prep on the weekend, get all the things together, cook, put them in the fridge, and all he needs to do is to bring it out.
Yeah, and these are practical things they can do.
They can do,
and she said, I've been trying to teach him, and he's not hearing. That's why I went back to, how does she tell him? Because for every time you enter into a conversation, you're either approaching that conversation. There are 3 ego states that you approach a conversation. You're either going into the conversation as a parent, as an adult, or as a child. If you're going into a conversation with your husband in a parent ego state, you're entering that space with the mind of, I know, so listen to me, just like a parent would. So listen to me, I'm telling you, this is how you should do it. You should bring out the food, this, that. And speaking to a full-blown adult like that, you will probably get a defense. So that man might either respond to you as a parent himself because he's defensive and he too knows, or he would respond as a child and cower in and say, okay, because that's how a child would present in a conversation. Where you want to be is an adult ego state all the time. And with an adult ego state, there is understanding, there's rationality.
Sometimes that is frustration. Sometimes frustration.
Indeed.
Sometimes she's frustrated. I come back from work.
Indeed.
The is dirty, the laundry is full. You are lying down, twiddling your phone. Like, come on.
Yeah, and if it's frustration, then let's address the frustration. In my work, I see couples, and believe you me, it's these small things that are the big things. These small things are the big. These small things. Imagine him not cooking and she calling divorce. It's like pulling out a bazooka.
Yeah.
AK-47. So it's like things have built up, and they've built up, and what would resolve it is you calm down, talk, hear me, let the next person hear and say, yeah, okay, I hear what you're saying.
I read this book from Miles Monroe that said marriage is like an institution. Like just because you go to work and you fall out with your colleague, it doesn't mean you're not going to show up to the job again tomorrow. Whilst you're there, you still have to find a way to address all the key things that may be going wrong.
I was going to say that, what if she does all these things with advice and the man doesn't know? Because it takes two to tango, right? I think for me, I've had a situation where it wasn't from, I think it's from my side. A partner of mine is very, very like, if he puts this in here, you have to leave it here. Like, I come in the house and I put my shoe in by the door because I want to wear it tomorrow. And no, you can't put your shoe there. You know, your shoe has gone out from outside. You have to put it in. So I was like, okay. So I was like, okay. When I come, I made sure I made the effort. When my shoe come, I actually have my shoe box downstairs. And I put the shoe or put it away. You know, there has to be a compromise. So my story is not really the ways, like the other way from me saying, okay, you have to put this properly, you have to do this. And I had to adjust the way I live because I understand that I had a partner in the house and I have to make sure that they are comfortable and they're happy. If me putting this thing here is causing them some kind of distress, I have to be selfless enough to try and understand from their perspective, right? So I think that's why I say for the husband's perspective, if she is speaking to him, he should come to a place where he's saying, okay, my wife wanted, what can I do? There are YouTube videos to learn how to cook. There, you know, the advice everybody.
I mean, they can ask people to cook for them and they put in the freezer.
Exactly.
That's why I don't think the cooking is a major thing. Yeah, I don't think cooking.
So I think because there are other things that can be done. He can pay, as you said, a woman, and they can cook and put it in the fridge, and it just to relieve his wife of the stress.
Men really need to pull their weights. And I think it's all about emotional intelligence, like just having a partner, like the person you marry or the person who you end up with is very important in your life. Like they can make or break you. Just having someone that has emotional intelligence. We all say it takes common sense, but if you don't have that intelligence to know that it's common sense, then you wouldn't have it. Like there is no amount of conversation that they would want to have in the marriage that might change his stance if he doesn't have that emotional intelligence. And it's very unfortunate. But I really pray for her. I really hope that they're able to kind of find a common ground and move forward and really fix like the hidden frustrations that are going on in the marriage.
I would start off just by saying I like cooking. And I think sometimes that can be the trap because even in this story that we heard, this person said, I liked cooking, so therefore I did it without complaining for the first 5 years. So basically you're setting a precedent that is fine. And so because I like cooking, I know that I can probably trap myself in that I like cooking, so I'm happy to do it. But it's important for my partner to also, like what Quinn said, have the emotional intelligence to know that, oh, Nashe might be tired today, so I can pick this up. Or there's actual house chores that I don't like doing. I don't like ironing. I don't like taking bins out. So if you do the taking the bins out, or if I cook and you do the dishes, then probably like we're meeting halfway. I actually dated somebody in my past that didn't actually know how to cook a lot of things, but he made the best yam and eggs. Like his yam and eggs were just top notch. And so for me, it was, babe, you know, the days that I'm tired, you just make me the yam and eggs and I'm gonna be happy. But then also he was willing to learn how to make, because he loved my spaghetti bolognese. I will teach you how to make it, so then even if I'm not around, you can make the bolognese for yourself. So I think again it just goes back to that point of compromise. But if cooking isn't something that you completely desire and you hate being in the kitchen, then do something that I don't necessarily like, and then let's find a balance in that way.
Indeed. Yeah, fair. That's fair. That's
Cool.
fair. And it's interesting when you talk about, you know, starting off because you like cooking. I think many things need to be thought about before the relationship kicks off, I think. And I think that's something that is missing or is usually missing. Because if you think ahead to say, if I started like this, can I continue like this? If you have that thought in the beginning, you know, it's you're being cautious, and you can introduce from the beginning that let's do this together. Even though I enjoy cooking, we can do it together from the beginning. And it doesn't only apply to food, I don't think. Several other things, you know, that happens when two people live together would come up. But yeah, I think there are very important tips coming up here, not just for our sister who has written it now, but for all of us, for everybody, for those who are looking to get married as well. Right. So, I mean, that's all we can take for today. It's a conversation we hope is continuing in your homes, and we hope it will be fruitful for you too. We hope you've enjoyed the show, and we will look forward to seeing you again next time. Take care. Bye-bye.